everyone, it's Jenny here from The Bear and the Fox. I'm back today to share some more Christmas picture books with you. A couple of weeks ago I shared a video with our top 50 Christmas picture books, and I invited people to nominate books that they would like to have a more detailed review of. So that's what I'm going to do today. So without further ado, let's get started. So first up we have The Church Mice at Christmas, which was requested by Dara. So this story features a group of mice who live in a church, which you may or may not have guessed by the title of the book. And they decide that they want to have a Christmas party. So to raise some money for their Christmas party, they decide to raffle off Samson, the church cat. But Samson doesn't want to be raffled off, so he runs away, and the people who won him are not very happy, and they come and they want their money back. So then they decide to go carol singing to raise some money, but that also does not go very well, and they end up setting someone's Christmas shopping on fire, and they get chased through the town by policemen, and they cause a lot of havoc in a toy store, and eventually they get away and they make it back to the church, but they still don't have any money for their party. And then in the end they help to foil a robbery, because this is not actually Santa, it is a cunning robber who has disguised himself. And as a reward for helping to stop the robbery, the sergeant decides to use the robber's costume, and he dresses up as Father Christmas, and he goes and he brings the mice a big hamper full of goodies to say thank you. So they get to have their Christmas party after all. This is a lovely story, and it's got some very detailed and very gorgeous illustrations, and it will definitely leave you feeling all Christmassy. Next up we have Christmas Farm, which was requested by Louise. Christmas Farm tells the story of Wilma, who has grown petunias and sunflowers for years, and she has decided she is ready to move on to something else. And she decides to start a Christmas tree farm. So Wilma orders 62 dozen seedlings to start her off, but then she thinks that is actually a lot of trees, and she decides that she will need some help. She will need the help of Parker, and Parker is 5 years old and lives next door to Wilma. And of course it takes some time for the trees to grow until they are big enough to actually be Christmas trees. So we follow Wilma and Parker through the seasons, but eventually in the spring, when both Parker and the trees turn 10, it is time for Wilma and Parker to put up a sign that says Christmas Farm. And at the end of summer they put up another sign that says trees for sale. And when December comes, the people come and they buy their Christmas trees from Christmas Farm. And that year, all over town, there are 566 twinkling Christmas trees that Wilma and Parker have grown. And at the end of Christmas, they sit down and they fill out an order form for more seedlings, so that the next spring they can start all over again. So this is a lovely book if you are looking for a story about Christmas that's just a little bit different. Next up we have quite a funny story. It's called The Day Santa Stopped Believing in Harold, and this one was requested by Nicola. So in this story, the tables are turned. It is not children questioning whether Santa really exists. It is Santa questioning whether children really exist, specifically whether Harold really exists. He says, "I still like the idea of Harold, but lately I have come to realise there are a lot of things about Harold that just don't make sense." Mrs. Claus says, "You're just looking for reasons not to believe in Harold, instead of just accepting him as one of the best, most magical parts of Christmas." But Santa will just not be convinced. He thinks that Harold's parents are just making him up so that they can get all the extra presents for themselves. Now, at the same time, Harold is actually also doubting the existence of Santa. So he is putting out some bait to try and trap Santa and prove that he is real. And so it goes back and forth until everybody gets a big surprise at the end, because both Santa and Harold are real. But I think nobody is as surprised as Harold's parents, who can't believe their eyes. So this is a great topsy-turvy book if you like stories that turn things on their head a little. Though you may want to exercise a bit of caution if your children still believe in Santa, because it may get them asking a few questions, but it is very, very funny, and definitely one I would recommend if you like a funny Christmas story. And last but not least is Bear Stays Up for Christmas, which was recommended by both Anne and Amy. There is a whole series of bear books, and this is one of our favourites. Now, bears usually hibernate, so Bear usually misses Christmas, but in this story, his friends try to keep Bear up for Christmas. So here they are. "Bear, get up! It's almost time for Christmas. We're not going to let you sleep through it this year." So they go and buy a tree, because you can't have Christmas without a Christmas tree. They hang up the stockings and they sing some Christmas carols. And at the end of it all, they are so tired from all the celebrating that all his friends fall asleep. And Bear is the only one who is awake when a very special visitor comes along. And when all his friends wake up on Christmas morning, there's Bear and the lit Christmas tree and all the presents, and they all have a lovely Christmas together. And then it's finally time for Bear to go back to sleep. So if you love stories about animals, then this is a really heartwarming story that you can share with your kids. And it's also a great talking point to talk to your kids about hibernation, but most of all, it's just a really lovely and Christmassy story, and I hope that you enjoy it. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the closer look at some of our top Christmas picture books. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Happy reading. Bye.